Szanowni Państwo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mr. Prime Minister, Mrs. Mayor of Warsaw, friends of the Polish capital market. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to 30th of May 2011. Just a few facts I would like to remind you after a year. The Warsaw Stock Exchange, as the leader in capital markets in terms of IPOs in 2011. This was the fact as of 30th of May 2011. This was also the third place in terms of the value of IPOs against the backdrop of other countries and other IPOs in the entire European Union. This is finally the third place in the scale of the whole world globally in terms of number of IPOs. This status of the leader in Europe, Central and Eastern Europe in particular, is something we have to be aware is not given once and forever. We have to take care of it. And if we wanted to make a short comparison, we would discover that in spite of the crisis situation, in spite of what has been happening recently in the markets, over the last 12 months, in fact, in spite of all that, Poland managed to maintain the status of the leader in the stock exchange and the whole Europe. 44 IPOs which took place since the beginning of the year until today in Warsaw make us number one among all stock exchanges in Europe in terms of the number of IPOs. This is the reason to be proud of, but this is also a great commitment, an obligation that we feel that our government has and that the Warsaw Stock Exchange faces. Our ambition is to maintain the status of the leader of the financial center in the Central and Eastern Europe and to develop this status over the following years. We build our strategy on the basis of three basic pillars: global capital, global investors, and global issuers. These are the three basic pillars which determine our activities related to privatization of the State Treasury Ministry and all activities in which the Warsaw Stock Exchange engages. Without combining all those elements, there can be no success of capital markets in Poland. This is continuous, incessant work which we have to carry out week by week. But after all those past months when we had meetings with investors from all over the world, from Asia to Middle East and Americas, there is always this key word coming up, the universal word, universal currency, we could call it. The universal currency is trust. Trust in stable prospects for Polish economy, GDP development, as was mentioned by Prime Minister, trust in all market rules which are applied in Poland. This makes Warsaw today a magnet for global capital. In all markets, from Asia to the US, all markets that are interested in investing in Poland and that see prospects for development. An element which is very important in the strategy for development for the following 3 years until 2015 is our participation, the participation of the State Treasury in privatization processes. We have a few important companies that we would like to be floated on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. They are attractive to financial markets and to new investors, from energy sector, financial sector to arms sector. But new epoch is coming. This new era is related to the challenges we face in the energy sector. This sector, in a particular manner, will require enormous financial outlays in the following years. Therefore, it is also in this area that we plan IPOs of State Treasury companies and of companies somehow related to the State Treasury and which play a key role for the energy sector, for investments in gas and oil. This is our action plan for the following 3 years, with a great involvement of State Treasury companies and also a great involvement on your part, issuers and global investors. I hope that after the meetings which will take place today and tomorrow, new ideas will be born, new ideas will emerge for IPOs at the Warsaw Stock Exchange. I think we should be guided by one rule. Nowadays, capital is available in the market. The basic task of all those interested in obtaining that capital is to have a good idea for a good project, an ambitious project, which will give a chance of return to potential investors. In the countries that are represented today, 27 countries whose representatives participate in our today's summit have many such ideas, and I believe that the result of the conference will be new initiatives and new concepts related to the financial market in Poland. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Minister.